Welcome back. Welcome back. Today, we're yapping about the AFC playoff picture. Things changed this weekend. Multiple matchups decided playoff odds for the rest of the season. Let's go. The AFC absolutely exploded this week. Starting in the AFC North, where the Ravens lost at home to the Steelers in a typical Mike Tomlin fashion. Everyone calling for his name to get fired. He goes on the road and gets the biggest win of the season. The Ravens are now in a position where they're screwed. They hold no advantages over the Steelers. Their next 4 games come against the Bengals, Patriots, Packers, and then Steelers again on the road. That is a horrible end to the season. Terrible schedule. I could see them losing all those games, honestly. But knowing Lamar, they could make something happen. They could go on a win streak. But they're lacking. This team doesn't look like a team from the past. They're making big drops and big plays. Lamar is getting unlucky. I'm not going to lie. But he's also missing throws that he always makes. Some terrible throws. On the Steelers side, they now hold this division by a chokehold. It's theirs to lose. Their next 4, Dolphins, Lions, Browns, and then the Ravens again. The Dolphins have been surging, but I expect them to beat them and the Browns. So the Ravens really need a miracle to win and get in, if we're being honest. The Steelers have the total advantage. The Ravens have a gauntlet. I don't like the Ravens odds whatsoever. But they have to be in striking distance. They have to win out. The Ravens, they got to win out completely. The Steelers own the division tiebreaker, so they need all the help needed, really. Can Lamar do it? I highly doubt Lamar can do this, guys. It's nearly impossible at this point after that loss. They need a miracle. In the AFC South, we had the division game of the year. You could say this was for all the marbles, Jags versus Colts. And it was literally like watching a Disney movie. Danny Dimes, after having a crazy season, #1 offense by a wide margin, goes down with a torn Achilles, and now be out for the year. This sucks for the Colts. I thought they had the recipe for some success in the playoffs for sure. Top running team, a decent defense. Buckner should be coming back, and now they're screwed. One injury. I mean, maybe Phillip Rivers could. Phillip Rivers is not going to help anything on that team, if we're going to be honest. The Colts in their next 4 games, they play the Seahawks, 49ers, Jags, and Texans. It's over for Indianapolis, guys. They are in disaster land. I don't see them making the playoffs. It's either Riley Leonard or Phillip Rivers. The run game's going to be hurt because of that, just because teams are going to be now stacking the box, forcing them to throw the ball. It sucks losing Danny Dimes. But on the other side, the Jacksonville Jaguars continue to beat the Colts in Duval. And man, they're surging. They're on a 5-game winning streak. The run game's cooking. T-Law's playing his best ball. He's not getting asked to do too much, but he is throwing dots. T-Law's been throwing some dots. Gotta give him that. They control their own destiny in this division as they sit in first place. Liam Cohen has changed this franchise for this year, probably future years. The next 4 games for the Jaguars, they face the Jets, winnable game. The Broncos, tough. Then they play the Colts and the Titans. They have a very generous end of the season. I see them taking 3 out of 4. They do not hold the tiebreaker on the Texans as they choked that game in Houston. That was a crazy game. So they need to have a 1-game advantage on the Texans to hold the higher seed. But even if they lose, I see them still making the playoffs. The Duval is going to be playing some playoff games. Maybe even holding a playoff game, hosting one. The Texans versus Chiefs. This was a huge matchup as the Texans win on the road in Arrowhead, ultimately sending the Chiefs to Cancun. Maybe. The Texans, they're on a heater as well. on a humongous bunch, 5 games as well. Their next 4 games are pretty cupcake. I see them making the playoffs as well, if not maybe winning the division if the Jaguars stumble, as they typically have in the past. The Texans' next 4 games come against the Cardinals, the Raiders, 2 wins. Then they play the depleted Chargers and the depleted Colts. They're at least winning 2 of those games. If not, they could sweep. The Texans could definitely win the AFC South, but it will be hard as the Jaguars have an advantage and also have a not as difficult schedule. The Chiefs. The Chiefs. I'm still scared that they're going to make the playoffs. They still have a chance. The Chargers winning on Monday Night Football saved them from having a really good chance. Right now it's around 10. If they would have won, I would have seen a 30-40% chance for sure. They can still pull off this miracle. They would need a Chargers collapse. They would have to go 1-3 in their next 4 games, which, listen, that sounds tough. But we got to remember the Chargers missing their 2 tackles. Herbie's getting messed up. He's super injured. Their defense is amazing. But their next 4 games are against the Chiefs. So we'll ultimately see it decided this week. If the Chiefs win, they have a chance because their next games after that, the Chargers face the Cowboys, Texans, and Broncos, which they could easily lose out of those 3 games if we're being completely honest. That's why if the Chiefs win this week, it's still up in the air. I don't know how. The Colts keep losing. Man, the Chargers would have to completely collapse, but I don't see why they can't. It's the Chargers. They are known for collapses. They choke. And the offensive tackles have me stressing for the Chargers. Herbie is running for his life. I've never seen a quarterback hit as much as Justin Herbert since at least he's entered the league. But the Chiefs would have to still win out. We got to remember that. So their next 4 games are against the Chargers, which, like I said, this week matters the most. They have to win the Chiefs or else they're done. Then they play the Titans, Broncos, tough matchup, and then the Raiders. So I see them beating the Titans and the Raiders for sure. Broncos and Chargers, tough. But the AFC West will be decided this week. Not the AFC West, but the last spot in the AFC playoffs will no matter what be decided. The Chiefs' playoff hopes and fate will be decided this week. As the season slowly comes to a close, the seeding is all up in the air, if we're being completely honest. Besides the Patriots and the Broncos, it's a toss-up from who's going to finish 3rd all the way down to 7 in the AFC. We know the Colts are probably screwed. The Chiefs have a low % chance to get in. We're still trying to figure out between the Ravens and the Steelers. You never know what could happen in this league. It's crazy. But who do you guys think is going to prevail? Who will be the last spot in? Who's going to make it out of the AFC South? The Texans, the Colts, the Jags. Can the Chiefs have a miraculous comeback and somehow make the playoffs once again? Will the Chargers choke? I don't know. And I'll catch y'all boys tomorrow.